The Air Quality Division of the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality. I'll be serving as the hearings officer this evening for this public hearing on a permit to install application for the Tier 3 Fuels Project and a permit to install for the liquefied petroleum gas, storage and transfer project at the Marathon Refinery here in Detroit. Excuse me, we're in River Rouge. Seated at the table with me is Lynn Fiedler, who is the chief of the Air Quality Division and is the decision maker for this permit, these permit applications.
Yes. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for attending tonight. We appreciate your attendance in these public hearings. It's very important to us that we get your public comment. And one thing that I did want to announce tonight is we will be extending the public comment period until Friday, January 29th at 5.
The purpose of tonight's hearing is to give anyone interested in the Tier 3 project and the LPG storage and transfer project an opportunity to provide information that the DEQ can use in deciding whether to approve the permits, or if there are additional issues that must be considered. Please recognize that we can only use the information you provide that relates to the criteria we are allowed to use to make a decision. For example, concerns related to local zoning, truck traffic, and noise are not within our authority. Some of you may wish to simply express either your support or opposition to these proposed projects. We'll be happy to make note of your position, but please understand that by law, we are not allowed to base our decision on whether or not there is widespread support or opposition to the proposed projects. The proposed permits to install are brought to you tonight in the form of draft permits. This does not mean that we've already made a decision. Instead, it reflects our initial technical review of the proposals and our belief that having the details of a proposed permit available will help you in providing comments. Everything in the draft permits remain open for comment and further consideration by the DEQ, including whether they will be granted at all. We look forward to your comments on those issues. Now, our hearing tonight is being recorded, and your comments will be part of the information we consider in making our decision. The public comment period began on November 18th, and as Lynn stated, will end on January 29th. Additional information can be submitted tonight either verbally or in writing, as well as through email submittal or U.S. mail following tonight's hearing, or at our information section through the City of Detroit. After the close of the comment period on the 29th, the decision maker will review all written and verbal comments that we've received. All significant air quality related comments will be considered, at which point a final decision on the permit applications will be made by the decision maker. The decision maker may deny the permits, approve them as drafted, or approve them with amendments. If approved, the decision must specify which provisions in the draft permits, if any, have been changed in the final permits and the reason for the change. In all three scenarios, all interested parties, including everyone who was notified of the hearing tonight, as well as those who provided their address or email address this evening at our registration table, will be notified of the decision.
I'm against these permits because there needs to be some kind of study into how the aggregate effects from all of the different entities in areas such as the Southwest Detroit, Ecorse, River Rouge connection And that needs to be taken into consideration, because even if Marathon is following the rules on paper, they're still contributing to the aggregate cause and the multiple exposures that are being affected. To draw a map, Schaefer, if we use Schaefer, the road that takes you back to 75 as a southern border, the Detroit River to the east, Oakwood Street, which is on the other side of the Marathon plant to the west, and the Rouge River to the north, just in those couple of square miles. There are 16 entities that are on the EPA's toxic release inventory. There are 51 entities listed who have reported to the EPA for handling some kind of hazardous waste, and there are 4 brownfields. And that's just the strip of maybe 4 or 5 blocks wide from river to the other side of the Marathon plant. So when it comes to adding to the emissions, there has to be some kind of cumulative longitudinal health study taken into consideration, because people have been dealing with this for long periods of time. Also, they say that the gasoline that they're going to produce is going to reduce the sulfur dioxide emissions by 4,900 tons a year in the country. So I was back there on my tablet doing a little calculator app. Right now, we're the continental United States, if you don't include Alaska and Hawaii, it's somewhere around 3.1 million square miles. So we'd be reducing, like Marathon would be reducing the SO2 emissions by 3.14 pounds per square mile, which isn't bad. 3 pounds a square mile, reducing SO2 emissions, that's cool. However, the additional 22 tons per year, if you looked at the acreage of E-Course, River Rouge, and 48217, we'd be taking in an additional 5,670 pounds per square mile of sulfur dioxide per year. If you incorporate all of Wayne County, it still isn't worth it, because Wayne County is a little bit over 670 square miles. So even just if you include Wayne County as a whole, Wayne County would be taking in about 65.5 pounds more SO2 per mile per year, just so that we can save 3 pounds per square mile as a country.
They want to do. We say no, no way, no more emissions. The EPA needs to be involved, everybody, Justice Department, everyone needs to be involved and say no, no, no more. We deserve to live. Stop killing us, stop killing us, stop killing us, stop killing us. Additional increase of 22 long tons per year, what will it take the emissions up to? Then it says, in your questionnaire, health impacts. What are the health impacts on people in the area from the proposed projects? The MDEQ used computer modeling to compare the emissions from the proposed projects to the applicable state and federal health-based standards. The review demonstrated the emissions meet the health-based standards of the air quality regulations, are not expected to cause harm to anyone. Well, gentleman mentioned about long-term effects. One part of it says it's a non-attainment, but in your other fact sheet you said this area is an attainment. There's a contradiction right there. So, the areas that we're concerned about are the tri-city communities, which include River Rouge, E-Course, and Southwest Detroit 4217. As well as we would like to include Lower Dearborn, Lincoln Park, and Melvindale.
This and all that and everything. All this stuff is happening around here in this area. Now, lives matter. What is your decision based on? But lives matter. And lives matter in this area. What is your decision based on? I invite you to come here and just live in this area 2 weeks, 24 hours a day, to hear the noise and see what's going on. Just to see what's going on in this area. It's easy to come here and say what this, that, and that, what the computer says. Computers are.
My name is Blake Sanford. I am the president of the Wayne State University Physicians for Social Responsibility chapter, and I'm speaking on behalf of the organization. We are against PTI 118-15 and PTI 122-15, requesting that permissible sulfur dioxide emissions for the Marathon Refinery be limited to levels that ensure that federal atmospheric sulfur dioxide concentration regulations in Southwest Detroit are met by hourly monitoring. As future healthcare professionals, we are here today in an attempt to prevent illness among the residents of this area. For decades, companies have poisoned communities in this part of the city. We are standing in the most polluted place in Michigan, as has been mentioned, and people here are being harmed by poor air quality. For a while, the medical community could only try to treat these problems, but now we're willing to take political action, and it's my goal to have a bunch of white coats in Lansing sometime soon.
Hi, my name is Shannon Paquette. I'm a first-year medical student at Wayne State University. And I just wanted to point out a line from a letter to Mr. Rowland of the Marathon Petroleum Company. He received this letter from the Department of Environmental Equality, and the letter states that you have announced a public comment period as required by state and federal regulations on the intent of the Michigan Department of Environmental Equality to approve the permit. And I really just think if you're supposed to be civil servants to the people of this community, you shouldn't have that in your mind before you even hear the comments of these people. So if you're going to decide to turn a deaf ear to the hundreds of stories that you've heard tonight about people's health concerns, you should at least consider some of the economic disadvantages of approving these permits that my colleagues have presented to you as far as the cost on healthcare is concerned, or the fact that the SO2 emissions that would be reduced from the fuels of cars, as another community member presented, is not equivalent to the amount that would be output into this community. And if you're not, if you're not going to listen to these health concerns, you don't need me as a future health professional to tell you what they are. You've heard enough stories, I think, tonight. At least consider the economic disadvantages, or consider looking into those before making a decision, and restore this community's faith in you as their government. Thank you.
I just want to say, I moved here in 2010, and when I moved here, I had already been diagnosed with asthma. But since 2010, I've been here 5 years, and I have graduated to COPD, and I don't smoke. And my doctor was asking, well, where do you live at? I said, I live down the street from the marathon plant. He said, move. He told me to move. And I said, I just paid my house off. I'm not about to move. And now I do. I believe I have to move because I have 3 grandchildren who moved with me, which had no health problems, and they all have asthma. And my husband, who had no health problems, he now has asthma. He sleeps by his bed with a roll of toilet paper, blowing his nose all night. It's no. No. We have a right to live. We don't want to die. No time before I die. Thank you.